Hey, I'm Chef Guy Vaknin. Welcome to my kitchen. Hi guys, I'm Chef Guy Vaknin. Welcome to my restaurant, La Basque. Let me show you around. We're here at La Basque in our first floor dining area, right on Union Square. We wanted to make it nice and cozy, chilled environment when you come out from the hustle bustle of the city to this warm, wood all over nooks in the wall where you can sit, enjoy your dinner, but right here in the heart of New York City. I'm the chef and owner of City Roots Hospitality, and La Basque is one of our restaurants. La Basque is a plant-based take on a fusion of French and Spanish cuisine, the Basque region. French cuisine has been the core of everything I learned all the way back in ICE, and I believe is the cornerstone of all culinary. They gave us all the rules of how to cook. So tackling a French cuisine, infusing the Spanish part of it, was a dream that we had for a long time in the company. City Roots' mission, in my mind, is basically rewriting what plant-based cuisine or plant-based food is about, making it region-specific, country-specific, cuisine-specific, and being able to deliver at a high level. I started with Beyond Sushi. I had actually very close to here, a 320 square feet location with 12 seats and a counter. Moved forward 7 years, I opened one after another, after another, after another. Willow, Coletta, Anixi, Sentir, La Basque, have 2 Beyond Sushi still, and opening Reverie next month. Today we range between 280 to 330 employees all across the restaurants and the company. The vibe at La Basque is more refined than most of our restaurants. Every detail over here, from the glassware to the silverware to the plates, has been meticulously chosen by me and the team. We are at the second floor of La Basque, our second floor dining room. It's special because it's very unusual to find a skylight like this in New York City. Lucky for us, we also build our own restaurants. So we design them, we build them, we design the kitchens, we design the menus. Everything is done in-house. Everything is made by our team. They do all the carpentry. This was the longest build that we ever did. It took us 6 months to gut it and rebuild it. My wife and my sister helped me design all the restaurants. They wanted to create a room where you have these love seats that you look outwards into the dining room and not necessarily at your companion sitting right next to each other. A lot of people watching felt like the little cafes in France where you can sit outside on the sidewalk. The ladies wanted to create movement on the walls, so we used Venetian plaster with golden shimmer on it, and then we carved out these arches into the wall so we can gain more space and have more space in the sitting. Every square inch in New York is important. All the details in the restaurant really matter. All these plates came from France. The silverware came from France. I think that I have an advantage that not a lot of operators or restaurateurs have, because I can see both aspects of the money and the build outs and the operation and the management while I'm doing the menus. I think that the best thing that I learned out of ICE, or the best thing that I took out of it, I really understood how foods react to certain techniques, and I apply it today to anything that I do in my professional life, whether it's dry heat, wet. I can analyze what will happen if I do a certain thing from my studies back then. Of course, with the experience and the years in the kitchen and trial and error, I've learned a lot. But the baseline came from there, and it helped me build on it over the years. I would advise people to work in commercial kitchens before thinking of taking that path. And once they did, and they like the environment, then a culinary school experience or culinary art is definitely a plus. So the bar at this restaurant is a very inviting. It's the colors, it's the cocktails, it's the setup over here with all the garnishes and all the liqueurs and all the infusions. In this restaurant especially, that's your welcome area. That's the first thing you see when you come in, and it's the first impression that you get of the restaurant. We, in all bars, want the bar to complement the restaurant and the region that it comes from. We curate all the cocktails according to the region. For example, in this bar we have a croissant infused vodka cocktail that we serve over here called the butter and grain. A lot of the infusions are done whether they infuse tequila with a cheesecake and strawberry to create one of the cocktails and then clarify it. And all of it is done with no animal products. So the meringue from aguafava and the cheesecake is made from cheese that we make from cashews. All these things are, pushing the boundaries of what plant-based is.
Wait, you have to let us in.
What?
There, you have to let us in.
Yeah, come in. Come into my office. Okay, so welcome to my office, the walk-in box. This is where we store all the backup to our service. It's a plant-based restaurant, so we have a lot of unique items. We have to make all the mousses, all the cheeses, and so on. We make our own vegan butter, cocoa butter, and coconut oil, and we use a little bit of nutritional yeast just to give it that fermentation flavor. Our dessert team has prepared all the entremet, the noisette, which is like our fancy Ferrero Rocher over here, which goes with our fig caramel. Preparation for the day, whether it's the cheeses or the mushroom pate, foie gras that we make from lentils, all those preparations are set for the day, and then we get them ready inside the kitchen. The basis for everything is vegetables, so we use a lot of vegetables, but we do use products like Chunk Foods, which is a plant-based steak. We feed about 1,000 people a day, more or less, across all the restaurants. We go through tremendous amount of food, which is a great indication for the interest that there is in plant-based cooking. I've worked in basements and the grimiest, nastiest places in the city. Not my own, because I don't allow that, but I love this kitchen. First, I can see everything, it's well lit. I got to design maybe 6 or 7 kitchens before this. It's a longer kitchen, so we got a hot station on this side, cold station right behind over there, and we have a large chef station where we can touch up all the details for our dishes. So thinking about the menu and building the kitchen at the same time, knowing that we're gonna do fresh breads, baguettes, brioche, sourdoughs. I've installed a bread oven from Italy that has full control of the heat. Installing enough burners into the kitchen was extremely important to me because we're doing a la menu paellas to the floor. Designing the kitchen while thinking about the menu was an advantage. There's a section in the menu, in all menus, that is specific to the region. And in this restaurant, we did pinchos, from chicken romanesco to a lamb and asparagus puree to a beef chervil and truffle and quail egg on top, and all plant-based. For La Basque, we import all the olive oil, all the almonds from Spain or from France. It was very important to me to bring the flavors of the region, or the authenticity of the products from the region, to be able to create the region flavors. Today we're gonna make our mushroom paella, one of our most popular dishes over here. So we're gonna start first of all with our shallots. Cut a lot of these back in the day in ice. We don't need that much because we're doing individual paellas at La Basque here. So we're just gonna mince these guys up nice and small. Second, we're gonna chop our heirloom tomatoes. Try to use the best ingredients in everything that we do, especially since our restaurant is right next to the farmers market here in Union Square, and we get to take advantage of the freshest produce that come to New York. To get started also, we have to marinate our Spanish saffron. I marinate the saffron in fresh lemon juice. That extracts a lot of the flavor of the saffron because of the acidity of the lemon. Already you can see the color changing. Now I'm cutting our king oyster mushroom. King oyster mushroom has a very cool texture to it. It feels a little bit more like calamari, scallops, seafood texture to it. And what we're doing over here is I'm gonna make our calamaris and scallops at the same time. I got my round cutter that I cut just for the shaping and how it looks. Afterwards, these will be our calamari. What we do with them, we sear them and we use that in the paella. And these will be our scallops. So we just score them. So when we cook them or when we sear them in the pan, we'll get all the flavor inside and the texture will be right. We're gonna start with the shallots. Shallots goes in there. Every time we use any onion, garlic, or anything else, we add a little bit of salt. That extracts the sugar from our shallots. Once we get a little bit of color, we're gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. And what we're doing over here, another thing I learned at ICE, we're gonna pinçage the tomato paste. Brings out a lot of the flavors of the tomato paste into our dish, caramelizing the sugars inside the tomato paste. Gonna add our tomatoes in there as well. And we're gonna let that cook down. The next thing we're gonna add to the mix is our chorizo mix. Our chorizo mix is made in-house with soy protein, peppers, garlic, onion, cilantro. We get that all mixed up in there, and we're gonna cook that down as well. We're adding the paprika. It's a sweet paprika imported from Spain, and we're starting to get color on everything, and that's what we want. So we're gonna deglaze this whole thing with some white wine, and all the residue that we had, or all the caramelization that we had on the bottom of the pan, now is coming out, all those flavors. We're gonna add our saffron. Now, this gold color has happened since we marinated the lemon maybe 5 minutes ago, but that color is all the flavor that came out of the saffron. It'll be nice and strong. What we're gonna do is lower the fire, and we're gonna add bombas rice. Bombas is also imported from Spain. It's a short grain rice that takes in all the flavors that we get from the paella reduction. Paellas seem like they have a lot of rice, but we don't want to do that. We want to have a thin layer of rice that will eventually, once it's cooked down, will burn on the bottom. It's called socret, and that's the best part of the paella. Basically, the cooked rice with all the flavors gets a caramelization or even a little crust, a burn on the bottom. If you want to have a successful paella, that's what you're looking for. We're going to add our stock that we make in-house. We use a nutritional yeast extract. Of course, mirepoix. There's no bone broth in this. A little bit of red wine, a little bit of herbs in there. Now, for our mushroom paellas, we have to have mushrooms, right? And we made the scallops. These is after they're seared. We're gonna add them on various places. Chanterelles, and then in the middle we use maitake or hen of the woods, and then our calamari rings, same from the king oyster. And then it's woodier mushrooms. They have a great texture. And what we'll do is turn the heat up a little bit and put a cover over this guy and let him cook. But before we do that, I'm gonna season it. So the chefs in ICE don't say I didn't season my paella. Now we're gonna cover our paella and let it work its magic. And we'll come back in about 15 minutes. Okay, my beautiful paella is done. What we garnish it with is a cherry tomato marmalade. Basically what we do is roast cherry tomatoes halves with red wine vinegar, olive oil, thyme, salt, pepper. We add that on top as the garnish. Has very pungent flavor when you grab a bite with those tomatoes. We serve it with a lemon for those who want more acidity. And we use macho cilantro. Macho cilantro is basically a different strand of cilantro. Very delicate, but still very pungent flavor. The whole thing gets Spanish extra virgin olive oil, some sea salt, and cracked pepper. So we got the beautiful mushrooms and a beautiful paella. Mushrooms are great to give it all the flavor that you would want. When you use the best ingredients available, you don't miss anything. delicious. Amazing stuff. Thank you for taking the whole journey with me through the restaurant and the cooking. Can't wait to see you here at La Basque. I'm gonna get back to my lunch. Now I'm gonna eat.